Just to kind of tune us in together, for me, yoga began as a way to get in touch with my deeper self and the anxieties and fluctuations of emotions that were happening for me in life. And out of that, I found a more profound interest in yoga as I practiced the asanas and the breath work and the techniques. And eventually I met a teacher, I met several teachers, but I met one profound teacher, Yogi Bhajan. And he always said these wonderful, profound things to me, as well as sharing very deep and very technical practices with me. But some things that he said stood out in my mind. Like one thing he said was, if you really want to master something, teach it. And that ultimately drove me to become a teacher. And the one thing that he said that I want to really share with you in this program is he said that that you will want to develop yourself so much that, like a rose, others will want to come and be in your presence. That a rose doesn't need to smell good for any purpose. It smells good and is beautiful just because it is. And so, like the rose, we can develop our essence until our essence is so beautiful and so profound that other people want to come near us. And that's really, for me, the seed of meditation, is that you develop your essence and your foundation and your strength and your security and that establishment in just being still and being one with all. And then from that place, other practices can help to develop your meditation. There are several types of meditation, and according to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, there are a few ways to get introduced. So we would be talking about the last 3 to 4 steps of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, if we were looking at the foundation of yoga, just the very basics on and how and what and is. And so let's just review that as an opening, okay? Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and how that applies to meditation, okay? So the last 4 steps of the Yoga Sutras are Pratyahan, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. And this is really the basic outline for beginning meditation. Pratyahan and is what's known as the extension and withdrawal of the senses. Can you turn your senses inward to observe the inner happenings, the inner landscape of the body, just as you observe what's going on in the outer world? So that's the first step, is just being able to turn your senses inward. And we can try that for just a moment here. So come sitting up straight. Allow your spine to be nice and long so that you have a dignified yogic position. And if you're sitting on a couch or in a chair, you can just come sitting a little bit towards the edge so that you're not using the back to rest, okay? Let your hands be on your knees. We'll turn the palms up. And we're going to touch the thumb and index finger together, okay? This is a wonderful hand position called Gyan Mudra, and it helps to develop wisdom. All right, now bringing the chin down and then in as you lift your heart slightly. Create a nice long spine and close your eyes. And imagine that you had little video cameras, just like the ones that are focused on me. Imagine you had little video cameras attached to the insides of your eyelids, and as you closed your eyes, you were able to see all that's happening inside of your beautiful mind, body, and soul. And simply look around. You can look around visually, you can look around energetically, spiritually, emotionally. Just take that time to look. And from looking, let us deepen the practice to a place of feeling all the senses within. So notice within you as you imagine somewhere very beautiful along the inner landscape of life. Notice if there's any smells. Maybe the smell of fresh air, the smell of cut flowers, or just the smell of your heart opening. And continue with the other senses. Notice if there's any sounds coming from your inner teacher, your spirit guides, maybe the birds in the trees. Taste. Is there any particular taste coming up in your mouth? Sweet, sour, bitter, salty. Maybe you're tasting something in your meditation. Food is a great meditation. And lastly, touch. Notice what sensations you feel inside. Places of tightness and tension versus places of strength and opening. Sense your breath moving in and out, your belly rising and falling. And to complete this meditation, take a deep inhale. Hold your breath in and imagine that you're squeezing all the muscles that you have to your spine. Like a tube of toothpaste, squeeze it out through the top of your head. And then release your breath. And relax. Take a moment before opening the eyes. Really let yourself absorb this practice of withdrawing the senses. And then as you slowly open the eyes, everything once again becomes new. So I hope that helped you. That's a very good beginning step to meditation. It's called Pratyahan, and it means withdrawal and extension of the senses. So being able to control what comes in and goes out of your wonderful 9 holes of the body. Okay? So in Patanjali's 5th step, after Pratyahan, he talks about Dharana. And Dharana means one pointed concentration. So this is another technique that you can use to help you get anchored in what meditation feels like. Meditation isn't just one thing. It's kind of a science of a bunch of different things. Okay, so in meditation, in this form, Dharana meditation, you want to take one thing and you're going to focus on it. And so for this meditation, let's focus just on our breath. Okay, so again, come into a yogic position. Let's turn our palms facing upward. And this time, instead of touching your thumb and index finger together, let's touch our thumb and our ring finger together. Okay, and this will give us some vitality. The sun finger and the earth finger. Okay, so bringing your hands out in this way. Straight arms, nice long spine, heart to the chin, chin towards the chest. And once again, we'll close the eyes, or if you feel okay, keep the eyes open just about 1/10 of the way. So looking at the tip of your nose. Okay? And then just begin inhaling and exhaling naturally. And pay attention to the breath. So with every inhale, anchor your mind on just that breath. Sense the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of your exhale. And notice where the inhaling breath becomes the exhaling breath, and where the exhaling breath becomes the inhaling breath. And as you find a connection between the inhaling breath and the exhaling breath, Take a moment to pause at the top of your next inhale. And just hold that space as the breath gently transforms into the outgoing breath. Release the breath slowly, feeling the warmth and moisture above the upper lip. And then gently pause at the bottom of the breath. Sense where it turns into that yearning for the inhale. And again, release the hold as you inhale deeply. And let's continue following the breath with our mind and all our senses, inhaling and exhaling, deep through the nose. Take a deep inhale just to complete this very short introduction. Squeeze the muscles along the spine once again, as if you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. And then exhale and relax, sitting quietly to absorb the benefits of your meditation. As you open your eyes, keep that same meditative space with you. And let us just review these two very basic steps. So we are talking about Pratyahan and we're talking about Dharana, the withdrawal of the senses, and also one-pointed concentration. So one-pointed concentration can be on either your breath or placing an object out in front of you and try to keep your awareness on that object, just simple focus. You can use a candle flame. That's another wonderful way to do this meditation. Or you can also use a mantra. And a mantra is a sacred word that you can use to focus on and keep your attention at a one-pointed place. Okay? I want to introduce you to a couple of these mantra-based meditations now. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about the other two steps of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So just breaking off a little bit here, and this is where the teachings of Yogi Bhajan come in very helpful. So we're going to first start with a simple chanting meditation that's called Kirtan Kriya. And you may have heard of Kirtan, that word Kirtan Kriya. Maybe you've heard of both words, but Kirtan is a form of chanting that is very kind of devotionally based. And in the way we'll practice it tonight, we'll practice it in devotion to ourselves and in devotion to the connection that we have with the cycle of life, birth, death, and rebirth. Okay? So we're going to start by once again bringing our hands into what's called Gyan Mudra. Okay? And as I mentioned, the hands have a special symbology for us in yoga. So very quickly I'll go over that symbology. If you look at your hand, your thumb finger is your id finger or the earth finger. Okay? And that relates to our projection and to kind of like who we are in the earth. Our first finger is our Jupiter finger, and if you point at something, right, it's kind of like expansion. You want to expand in that direction. And so this is our Jupiter finger. It's a wisdom and expansion is the meaning. The third finger, oh, watch that finger. This one is the Saturn finger, right? And we all know what happens if we use our Saturn finger. And so if we use our Saturn finger, the middle finger, it's telling us to go ahead and get back into line. It's all about form and function for Saturn. Okay? Now our ring finger, the Venus finger, or I'm sorry, actually the Sun finger here, Surya finger, is for vitality. And so if you need a little vitality, you can connect your Sun and your Earth finger together, and that'll bring you some vitality. And then last but not least is our little finger. And if you think, what's the smallest planet in the solar system? It's Mercury. And this is our Mercury finger, and it's good for communication. So on those days when having some arguments, communication is best. Okay? So with that knowledge that you have, let's go ahead and begin Kirtan Kriya. This is a chanting meditation, and it's wonderful for beginning yogis, and just excellent for bringing you into a place of connection just with where you are right here, right now. Okay? Please set yourself. Inhale deeply, and you'll follow the mantra Sa-ta-na-ma. Sa-ta-na-ma. As we chant Sa, touch the thumb and the Jupiter finger. Ta, Saturn finger. Na, Surya or Sun finger. Ma, Mercury finger. Inhale. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 And you'll continue this way out loud for about a minute. After 1 minute, switch your voice to a whisper like this. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 And continue whispering the Satanama meditation for 1 more minute. Then try it silently in your mind, just connecting at the fingers. After 1 minute, again, try the whispering Satanama. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. After 1 more minute, do it out loud. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. And continue this meditation for up to 5 or 7 minutes. Kirtan Kriya, Satanama meditation. This is a fundamental for beginners. Sa, meaning infinity, cosmos, truth. Ta is life or existence, very specific. Na, meaning death, and ma, meaning rebirth. Sa, ta, na, ma. A wonderful, basic meditation. Start anywhere from 1 minute each to building it up to 5, even 7 minutes for this wonderful beginning meditation. And this will bring in those concepts of Pratyahan, withdrawing the senses, and Dharana, focusing on one thing, one pointed concentration. The last two steps, dhyana and samadhi, these are really practices that once you learn to get anchored within yourself, then it's all about being able to release. So in dhyana meditation, there is nothing to focus on. There is nothing to withdraw from. There is only sitting with what is. So simply bring yourself to a seated position. Let yourself be comfortable and relaxed. And instead of trying to tune anything out, tune in to all the sounds that you hear, to all of the things that you see. If you'd like, close your eyes and check out the inner landscape. If it feels good to you, keep the eyes closed or open the eyes and let your eyes stay focused on something. And then just take it all in. City noises, fire alarms, fire engines, traffic signals, cars coming and going, people yelling and screaming. Let it all be a part of the divine sound. I think one of the great master yogis, it may have been Thich Nhat Hanh, who said that if you really want to know how to meditate in the middle of a busy street. And that for sure will teach you how to stay calm amongst chaos. In the last of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, it's all about bliss. Enjoy and become a part of what you're meditating about. If your meditation is on life and love, enjoy that, become a part of it, bring it into your life through experience. So that